Our journey starts in Lithuania on this cloudy and rainy day, and it's interesting to think that you can just travel elsewhere to a different place, a much drier and hotter place like Croatia, for example. Just passing Poland, really good roads and highways, we didn't expect to see much other than the straight highway. Also, I loved all these MOP areas where you can steer further away from a highway than a normal gas station stop. Less noise, spacious surroundings, you can eat, rest and even stay overnight if needed. Couple hours more till our last stop. The night was pretty good. So we actually stayed overnight in a MOP area. Our car is not big enough, but it's doable. We felt pretty safe because there were a lot of truck drivers staying overnight as well. Safer, but not the coziest area to stay at. Throughout the highways, we started noticing how nature changes from flats to hills and soon enough to mountains. Here we are in Austria, a little time to stay still and relaxed after all the road. Everything looks peaceful and joyful right now, but it was not like that yesterday. Actually, we were pretty stressed out about where we're gonna camp and stay overnight. After sleeping in a car and in a tent, it is nice to rent a room, to shower, and to set up fresh energy for new experiences up ahead. The journey of Split-St. Pius starts off with the bus taking you to a starting point, from which you begin your hike surrounded by trees, rivers, lakes, and even waterfalls. I'm loving this place, and if you're in Croatia, definitely come here. At a certain point, people started gathering near the most iconic views, and it was harder to stop and gaze peacefully. There were so many views that it became difficult to take it all even in. Well, I guess that's good and a little bad at the same time. You know, I catch all sorts of details and it's beautiful, but I've had a dilemma during this hike. I've tried to find a balance between filming and actually taking it all in myself and sharing it with Kay, obviously. Couldn't figure that out just then. I wanted to say that I am super happy and grateful for a driver's license. So we have a pretty simple day ahead of us. We arrived at a very interesting sound is coming from the treetops. We're going to just chill here for a moment as we are waiting for our family member to join us on our trip. At some point, a couple dogs lived here. So at the end of the evening, we found ourselves at our next apartment, and I will show you guys that out a little bit later down the road. National Park number 2, and I am not going to try and pronounce the name of it. So we found this really cool restaurant and it felt like a bubble of a different world. This place is amazing, it takes you back in time. It was so nice to just relax under the shadow and drink some orange juice. So national parks in Croatia are huge, and sometimes you even need the bus to take you to a different point for you to just continue your journey. And that combined with the heat of the sun, it can be a little bit exhausting, but man, you see so much, and I think the point is to feel your surroundings and somehow, to take that back. Putting the views and the nature aside for a moment, there is also an aspect of just exploration. I think when we were kids, we were doing so much more of it. Here's a pretty interesting idea. Mostly we know our world just through the map, perhaps through documentaries, perhaps through movies. But that's it, it's a visual, and we don't have our own personal sensations, hearing of the surroundings and the smell. Man, but you can go out there, you can actually make those dots on the map alive with your own sensations. Here's the second apartment we've been staying at, and also on top of that, just a fun story. It's so hot during the summer in Croatia, and there's no heat fluctuation, so you can walk in your trousers during the day, and you can also do that during the night as well. This day was really awesome. I will try to let it speak for itself. And it's allowed to swim in there. The problem is that we're gonna have to climb all the way back up. So it was quite a drop to reach the water. So worth it. It's really hard leaving this water, this lake, in this heat. Further down this road we found another lake, and it is actually a sinkhole named after reddish brown surrounding cliff areas. It's a really interesting place on Earth. It has numerous caves and it goes pretty deep below the surface level. For the very first time in Croatia, I feel wind, and also the smell of the forest is really strong. If you want to read up more about this sinkhole, I'm leaving a link in the description. It's pretty interesting to read. Spacious surroundings makes you more spacious inside, and from that point it is just way easier to think about life and, well, how to enjoy it. Traveling is fun, but it can also be exhausting, so having good resting points, well, that's key. We arrived at our second apartment, and yeah, we have a pretty big day in Dubrovnik waiting for us. Another thing I forgot to mention is that having AC, well, that's another key. The owners were really nice. They actually offered us a free parking space in Dubrovnik, and that is pretty good because parking prices are pretty high. At this point into editing, I was just surprised at how beautiful Croatia is and how fun it is to have adventures. Man, it was 1 year ago. Looking back on it, the heat took quite a bit of the experience. You know, it's just so beautiful in this old city, but yeah, it was just a little bit hard to take it all in. Cookie, does this place feel or look familiar to you? Actually, a Game of Thrones scene was filmed exactly here, and specifically the scene, A Walk of Shame. And if you ever watched Game of Thrones, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Another interesting thing about this old town is that it has guard walls securing the perimeter around it, and the views from there are absolutely phenomenal. and did really come in handy. Last destination of Dubrovnik was the Love Museum. It's a pretty interesting place and it is definitely worth a read about, so I will leave the link in the description. With the Toyota Auris, it was pretty sketchy road to reach the secret beach. Not many people visit this place by a car. Actually, more often this place is visited by boats, by sailors. Sea clarity in Croatia is superb, and I was just super excited to try out diving a little bit. I don't have a professional gear, but man, I'm ready. It was a pretty exciting day for all of us because, as we are traveling, we are frequently moving from point A to point B, and sometimes you just need a stable day in a single location. Well, a beach is a perfect place for that. Long story short, we sailed with the ferry into the archipelago and we were looking for more adventure. We just couldn't exactly get there because two of us got sick. It was probably because of the octopus or oysters from the day before. It was my first time trying seafood. After that, there was, intense vomiting exercises in the middle of the night. But no need for more of that. We recovered and we managed to enjoy a little bit more of the sun and the sea.